If you smell what The Rock is cooking.
What's up, people? This is Nature Girl 30 here, and as you can hear, I absolutely have no voice. I had an opportunity to see Wrestlemania 28 last night when I went back home to Georgia with a few friends, and I was pretty much screaming my head off the entire time. I also recorded a really great audio with my homegirl, Tama Girl 101. The only problem is that I did it on my phone. I have to convert files, so hopefully the one that I actually sent to YouTube works. If it doesn't, I'm going to try to have to convert it, and it's going to probably take a minute. But I am going to upload it regardless of how far WrestleMania 28 is from. It's probably months from now, whatever. But I'm still gonna upload it. But anyway, this is my personal view of how I felt of WrestleMania 28. This is my review of WrestleMania 28 last night. Now I'm gonna go into the championship matches, and then after that, I'm going to go into the standalones, and then I'm gonna actually point out things that didn't really make any sense to me. Now I'm gonna go into the tag match. They actually did have a tag team championship match as a dark match. They actually had the Usos versus Heath Ledger and Justin Gabriel and the Usos, I do believe. I could be wrong. If I am wrong, then please leave a comment below. But anyway, unfortunately, the Epico and Primo won, which kind of disappoints me because it shows me that those belts are starting to become props. And the reason why I'm saying this is because, well, actually, there really hasn't been any good tag teams for them to compete with except for a few. They just really haven't showcased them. Like Booming Truth, Air Boom, Usos. I mean, yes, Heath Slater and Justin Gabriel, they are great in tag teams as well as the Usos. I think I already said them twice. But regardless, it kind of makes me sad that Epico and Primo has held it this long. There's really no competition with them, and the belts are starting to become meaningless. But it is what it is. Epico and Primo end up winning. Now I'm gonna go on to the first match of the night, and I'm talking about the World Heavyweight Championship match with Sheamus versus Daniel Bryan. My goodness, I saw so many reviews from the Off the Rope show as well as the British Fist, and from that, some say 18 seconds, some say 16 seconds, some other reviews say 12 seconds. Regardless, I'm gonna say 2. I'm sorry. That was the quickest match I've ever seen in my life. My word. All Daniel Bryan did was step in the ring, kiss AJ, and get a boot to the head, and then boom, your belt's gone. Really? This had to be a squash match? I don't know. It was absolutely ridiculous to me, and I really don't think this should have been a squash match. There's one match that I think this should have been a squash match, and that's the IC Championship. Now, the IC Championship title with Cody Rhodes versus the Big Show. Now, if I get my audio up, unfortunately, I did not talk about this, so I'm going to talk about it right now. Now, this match should have been just ended with one punch to the head. I'm sorry, I'm going to be real. Excuse me. But this match should have been ended with one punch to the head. It should have just been completely done when the Big Show should have just let off his WMDs and just bam, just hit him in the head, and that would have been done with it. He would have took the belt. I think it should have been better done that way than it would any other way. I mean, and then it did the first match. I really think that he should have just punched him in the head and just ended it right then and there. But the match went on. It wasn't all that bad, but his punch in the nuts, I'm not really sure whether or not it was something intentional or whether or not it was actually accidental, but regardless, Cody Rhodes ain't going to be walking right for a while. But moving on to another match. I am moving on to the Best in the World match. Now, I can't necessarily say that this match was bad. There's a reason why this match was just pretty much underwhelming, and it was the match before it. So I'm going to get into the match before a little bit later. But this match really was kind of boring and a little bit underwhelming, and you really just wanted it to end. Like, seriously, that's just how I felt about the whole thing. You really wanted it to end. It took far too long. It was way dragged out, drawn out. It made you tired just being there. You just wished it was over, and that's sad. It shouldn't be that way with the CM Punk match. It shouldn't be that way with a Chris Jericho match, but that's how it was. It was that boring, long, and dragged out. And I was happy it ended, and CM Punk retained his title with Chris Jericho tapping out. Now, I'm going to go to the match before it because there is a reason why that match was so underwhelming, that match was so boring, because you were already emotionally spent from the match before. And I'm talking about the end of the era match with The Undertaker versus Triple H in the street, pretty much, with Shawn Michaels as a special guest referee. That match was emotionally draining. That's how good it was. I had a girl sitting next to me that wasn't even a wrestling fan, and even she was emotionally drained. That shows how great that storyline was built up. That shows how great that match was put together. Shawn Michaels, and I know I gave this match a lot of flack because of the fact that Shawn Michaels was involved. I thought Shawn Michaels was going to do the same exact thing that The Rock did last year, WrestleMania 27. I was wrong. Shawn Michaels enhanced the storyline, in my opinion. He literally actually brought out the emotion that made you more emotionally involved. Yes, it was annoying the fact that he got more involved, but the commentary, I mean, not the commentary, but the dialogue that you could hear on the inside, the audio that you could hear the inside of the ring, really did beef up the storyline a lot more. Really did make you emotionally invested in all of them, and the way it ended was mad respect to me. The fact that that Shawn Michaels hugged the Undertaker hugged him back. The fact they were able to pick up Triple H and carry him out the ring, and they all hug one another. I'm sorry, that's mad respect right there. Say what you want, say it's out of character, you say whatever you want. But the fact is, that's mad respect right there, and I have a lot of respect for those men being in the ring after that match. Which pretty much, after seeing that match, that made you pretty much emotionally spent for all the others. So in a way, it was kind of a good thing and a bad thing. It had kind of like a catch 22. You'll have a lot of entertainment watching this match, but then after this match is over, you're going to be completely drained and you're not going to be involved or invested in any of the other matches. Now, I'm going to go on to the other matches, the standalone matches. I'm going to talk about Team Teddy versus Team Johnny. Now, as pissed as I am, the fact that Team Johnny won and I have to see Johnny Ace twice a week on my screen, I have to say that I didn't like this match that much because of the sheer fact that they kept adding people as the nights went on. And what I mean is, this match was already set on SmackDown. These matches were already set on Raw for WrestleMania. I felt like they kept adding people as the time went on. From the Bella Twins coming out of nowhere, from Eve coming out of nowhere. They added chicks, in other words. They added the Bella Twins. They added Oksana. They added Vicky Guerrero. Yes, she's the flag bearer, but she became more involved in it. Then out of the blue, they added Eve. Why are they adding so many chicks in this? I mean, they're not going to wrestle, so what's the purpose of them being there? They have no purpose. Why in the world do you keep doing this? And then the ending. The fact that this whole thing ended because of Eve, that was just disappointing to me. I'm sorry. It was disappointing and very weak. And it really did piss me off at the fact that Eve is getting so much airtime and all the other divas. The champion isn't. The champion is getting less airtime than Eve is. That's the one thing that I don't get. What is Eve doing that makes her better than the champion? I don't know. I'm all about women's rights and crap like that, but for crying out loud, there is something up. Something's rotten in the state of Denmark. But regardless of that, moving on to another insignificant match. The Divas match. Good grief. This should not have happened at all. Maria Menounos and Kelly versus Beth Phoenix and Eve. Why? Why? They could have done everything to turn it into a better match. They could have had Beth Phoenix versus Tamina. They could have had Beth Phoenix versus Natalya. They could have done better. seriously better. But instead, they had to add Maria Menounos. Why? She was already in as a guest host. Why do we have to see her again? She was there 3 times. She's not relevant at all. All she is a glorified reporter. She's not even a celebrity. Regardless, this match was bad. And yes, after seeing some reviews, she did have a stain on the crotch part of her pants. Well, actually, the butt crack of her pants. And that was because of the fact that when she kind of gave, I guess, the feminine version of the stink face, like what Kelly did, bronzer got on her butt. And she was wearing white pants. So, yes, it looked like she crapped her pants. But regardless, she should not be involved at all. This match should not have happened. It should have been a Divas Championship match. That's what it should have been. I'm sorry. That match just pissed me off. Alright, well, moving on from there to Randy Orton versus Kane. Now, this had a poor build. This was just thrown together at the last minute just so Kane and Randy Orton could have something to do with WrestleMania and get their WrestleMania paychecks. I understand that. But I like the way this ended. It did piss me off in the beginning how Randy Orton had the upper hand the entire time and how Kane was just completely being punished the entire time. But it made me happy how Kane ended up becoming more triumphant in the end because he needed this win more than Randy Orton ever did. Randy Orton's been there, done that, got the t-shirt and whatever. He's been there and done that. So he doesn't need this win. Kane needs to win because the monster character is starting to die. And we really do need the monster character to come back because it brings more flavor. It brings something to the shows. So it really does make me happy that Kane comes back because it doesn't make Kane irrelevant because he was only there to beef up John Cena. But now that John Cena's feud is done, I'm happy that he wasn't squashed by Randy Orton. So it really does make me happy that I saw this ending. Now, I am going to come up to the most controversial match of the night. And I'm saying this because from all the reviews that I have watched, it's like this when it comes to people's decisions, when it comes to this match. And I am talking about the once in a lifetime match, John Cena versus The Rock. I actually came to this match completely not caring, completely not invested in it all, completely not care who won. But I'm not going to lie. I am all about Team Bring It winning. And the fact that Team Bring It won, and the reason why I'm saying this is because John Cena, his character needed to change. His character needed to change badly. Now, people are saying that The Rock, he shouldn't have won. The Rock shouldn't have done this. He shouldn't have done that. The thing is, yes, he should have won. The reason why he should have won is because John Cena's character needs to be more humble. His character needs to break. He has always been a superhero in every single match he's been in. He is, he has literally rose above the hate in every single match he has been in. He does not need to do that anymore. Seriously, he doesn't. He really needs to be more humble and more believable towards people like me. Yes, little kids are going to always see that because little kids are linear. They see things one way. When it comes to adults, our views are multifaceted, especially if we've grown up watching it since the 80s. This is something that is going to work with people my age who's going to see John Cena as more as a believable character, more human, more humble with him being broken by The Rock. Sure, there may be a rematch down the line. It may be a rematch at WrestleMania 29. But the point is, John Cena's character really does need to change. He really does need to be more reinvented. And I think it was a great idea for him to actually do this. People are saying, oh, he's not going to change. He's going to still be the same. No. He's actually gave us clues that he was going to switch. I'm going to go to the first clue. The first clue was when he was talking about Eve. He was looking at the camera, and he was pretty much going back to his whole Thugonomics gimmick in a little way. And that's when he was a heel. Number two, when he actually did a concert. Yeah, for the concert, you had to rap and everything like that. But I'm going to be real. John Cena actually did bring out more of his classic gimmick than he ever has in the history of him actually performing. And number three, the dude was wearing a Boston Celtics shirt after the Boston Celtics beat the Miami Heat. That was a poke to Miami. I'm sorry. That's something a face don't do. A face don't poke poke the city that they're in. That's not what a face does. It's what a heel does. So let's face it. John Cena is going to turn. Whether or not he is going to be a full-fledged heel, a frustrated face, or a straight up, he'll probably just be maybe a frustrated face or an anti-hero. He probably could pull the whole anti-hero thing out. Maybe. But the thing is, his character needs to change. He needs to be reinvented. And I really do agree the fact that The Rock won because it makes him more humble and also it leads up to a rematch. But who knows how that's going to go. Now I'm going to go into things that really didn't make any sense to me or why I was there. The whole Funkasaurus thing, I don't really get. I'm all aboard the Funkasaurus trade, but the Funkasaurus should have been there unless he was going to have a dance off of Rikishi. And he didn't have a dance off of Rikishi, so I really didn't care. But Flo Rida, I like Flo Rida. He's not all that bad. I like MGK, not all that bad. But the thing is, it would have been cooler if John Cena actually came out to the music and went down the ramp instead of them actually performing the song we've heard about a million times. And the sad thing is, they got booed. They got booed royally. The only person that didn't get booed was Flo Rida, but he's from Miami, so of course they're gonna give him some love. And I gotta give the guy props for rolling out there in a Tron bike. He was out there in a Tron bike. Gotta give the guy props for that. I ain't hating on Flo Rida for that reason. But the one thing that disappointed me the most was the stage. The way that it was set up. Sure, yes, it was outside. Yes, it was in Miami. The Miami heat, the humidity, there's only so much you can do when it comes to pyro. There's always so much you can do when it comes to electricity because the humidity actually plays a factor in that. Yes, but it looks so plain. This is WrestleMania 28. WrestleMania 27, their stage was awesome. The way they set it up made it look larger than life. But you got to understand. I had to understand this. When it came to the cities that they're in, every city had its own feel. Every city had its own theme. When it comes to Atlanta, Atlanta actually wants to be larger than what it is. It's larger than life. The whole mentality of Atlanta is larger than life. The whole mentality of Miami is somewhat of a flavor. Like, I really can't express it, but it's somewhat of a flavor. So yeah, they probably had to bring out the whole Floridian thing and made it. And plus, it was an outside stadium, so they probably had to make it that way for that reason. But the one thing that disappointed me the most, and this is the one thing that I look forward to for WrestleMania, are the entrances. The entrances were weak. So weak. I'm not going to lie. Triple H's entrance when he had that blow-up doll that he was walking through, that blow-up Conan that he was walking through, that was disappointing. And then HBK's pyro didn't even go off. It was like it was like they forgot to hit the switch or whatever. They didn't even set it off. It blew up under the stage. Or blew up behind the stage. Either or, you couldn't even see pyro. And then the only cool part was The Undertaker coming out there in his robe, straight up looking like something from the dead. Like, seriously, he like a demon from the dead. Not gonna lie. But no, he looked like Assassin's Creed. He like a strutter version of Ezio. That's what it is. He had like that jacket with the hood over it. Like, he straight up looked like Ezio from Assassin's Creed. And he had the little spikes poking out like he was the Shredder. But the hair, I like that. I like the hair. I really do. Aerodynamic mohawk thing was cool. But it's just everything was so underwhelming when it came to the entrances. You thought that everything was going to be larger than life, and that's what WrestleMania is. It's larger than life. It's supposed to be. It's supposed to have that persona. And it made me sad how the entrances were weak. It made me sad how the pyro didn't go off. They had so many mistakes, so many things going on. But, it is what it is, and botches happen. So I can't necessarily say that it was horrible or anything. But the one thing I can say about the WrestleMania 28 is the sheer fact that it is worth your money. For those that actually paid the $59.99 for the HD or the $54.99 for the SD, regardless, it is worth your money and it is worth seeing. Sure, they've had a few crappy matches, but their main matches that they had from the streak, as well as the final match, the once-in-a-lifetime match with John Cena and The Rock, delivered, in my opinion. I'm sorry, it did. And the matches before that, sure, they were comical, especially how short Daniel Bryan's match was, but it still delivered. It is still worth your money. It is still something worth seeing. Now, as for the audio, I'm going to try to get that up as soon as possible. It is Monday, so you're probably going to be hearing a raw review from me later on tonight. So, this is Nation Girl 30 signing off. Peace out, y'all. See you later.
If you smell what The Rock is cooking.